Oh, we all love capsulated toys, don't we? Yes, found in vending machines in the country where I live, often in very large shopping centres. And the very big name shopping centre chain was having a vending machine that had these Thomas toys in there. Well, they're actually not really Thomas toys because they are dark side knockoff toys, which to me was a little bit alarming because what used to come out of these vending machines was real Thomas toys. Well, I'll show you those soon. These were very popular. I also found these at the dark side markets where you find knockoff toys, and it was surprising to me that toys like this were being found inside very reputable, big named shopping centres, and I always think that's the sort of place where you shouldn't find these sort of nasty clone toys. The big deception with this was the way they were set up. It had a great big Thomas face at the vending machine. I think most children would see it and immediately think, wow, it's going to be a beautiful little Thomas toy that comes out of there, hopefully something connected to the franchise. But no, this nasty rubbish came out of those machines, and it was very, very sad to see. At the time of making this video right here, it's been about a year and a half since I've seen the play rail toys in those vending machines. Just before they disappeared, I did go and empty a whole machine, and I'm yet to show you what came out of the whole machine. I spent a couple of $100 in search of a Thomas, and I know what I've got. I don't know if I'll leak to you what I didn't find, but what I didn't find was, well, what I was after. And I've sort of got to wonder that this ends up becoming the most expensive train set in the world to collect. The problem is that the prices can flash between $2 to $3, and if you're really unlucky, they can be $4, and the price seems to chop and change all over the shop. I don't understand why. Anyway, what you often get in there is, if you're lucky, you'll get a little wagon and some track. If you're really unlucky, you will just get just track, but then again, just getting track is nice because you've got to build a little railway up. But if you're really, really unlucky, you'll just get a whole swag of turntables, which is what I found. Finding a Thomas, I think I've only ever found one via those machines, I think. Extremely difficult to find Thomas. There was a diesel, which was really nice. Some of them aren't powered. There's no wind up in that, but nevertheless, it is nice. And I do collect Devious Diesel, and here's Stanley. But finding the engines, I found, was very, very tricky business indeed. But remember, these beautiful play rail capsulated toys haven't been seen in my local shopping centre for, well, it feels like years. But what has appeared of late is, I think, another Thomas toy, and that's what this video is all about. And we are going to investigate what's inside here. There was, well, it was set up. I'll show you some video of how these are set up. There's a Thomas and Percy in this series, and the most bizarre thing was that it showed that these cost $2, but you had to put $3 into this machine. And I'm starting to think that whoever's running these machines is virtually running a scam. I've seen knockoff toys come through these machines now, and now I've seen them set at, well, in different prices. It's one thing to have, a $2 sign saying it's $2, but to have it where you've got to pay $3 to get these out, I'm sorry, but the Department of Consumer Affairs need to know about this, because really it's a scam. Anyway, let's take a look inside these capsulated toys and see what we've got. So Silly Leo bought 5 of these at $3 each, so that's $3, $6, $9, $12, $15 of hopefully what is Thomas and Friends toys. Out of the 5, only one Percy appeared. I've just actually sent away the Percy collection to the person who won that giveaway. It was Train Czar Fun. I hope that's their channel name. I hope I remembered it. Here comes Percy. Ooh, yeah. I'm looking for info whether this is licensed or not. It's a choking hazard warning, which is probably part of the deal of having small toys, isn't it? Okay, let's get Percy out of the bag. Unbagging. Unbagging, that's for the robots. I can hear me saying unbagging. Ooh, I don't know. It's very Percy, isn't it? It looks pretty good. I can only assume, from it looking so good, it is a licensed toy. Little cold bunker on the back there. The bag is free. Okay. Yep, it's got stickers on the side to give it details. It's looking very Percy-ish. It's got an interesting step down here. I know. Extreme Trains would be saying different things. It's got the white splash on the running board, which makes it look oh so fancy, doesn't it? A coupling there, some buffered boo bars. The face. Very cheeky face. I think that's the best way of saying it. Okay, yeah, it's... well, it's doing it for me. I'm thinking if I paid $2, I'd be happy, but up against the Thomas Mini, which are $3 in Australia, this versus a Mini... Hey, but the thing that I'm looking for is licensing info, and strangely enough, I can't see it on this. So I sort of don't know what to say. I haven't seen a Percy like this before. Okay, I just wonder whether this is a knockoff. The audience is going to have to investigate this one for me. Normally there'd be licensing info on there, but then again I have come across some other Thomas gear which has no info on it. Let's just take a closer look in there. What's going on in there? Okay, we're in nice and close now. I can see some sort of red overspray going on there from the red detailing they put across the boiler there. Yeah, I mean, sometimes a knockoff toy can present really, really well. Like, I mean, I've got to be very careful what I say here because I could be dealing with a licensed toy. It did present as a licensed toy when it was in its little vending machine. It's very tricky to tell, and I think for the reason that it is tricky to tell is starting to worry me, actually. Okay, well, I had a good close look at Percy. Let's move on to Thomas. Okay, there is Thomas in there. I mean, whoever's got these vending machines, it must be a gold mine because I watch these things and they get emptied out really fast. I'm sure people like me come along and will buy up the whole thing, spending hundreds of dollars to do so. Okay, there's the warning there about the bag or choking hazards, blah blah, the bag. The bag's actually got a warning on it as well. I've just read the other bag from Percy. There's nothing about Thomas and Friends on that bag. And really, if this is a franchise toy and licensed, I mean, they've got to get the details onto the toy because, well, people want to see that. I want to understand whether this is real, a legitimate toy, or a knockoff. Okay, looking around Thomas here, look over the back first, the coal bunker. I think this is the same, well, that looks the same as Percy in the back there. We have a different shape going on here. We haven't got the steps, but we've got that, I suppose, the side of the tank going on there, so it is Thomas shaped. Yeah, we've got little steps there going into the driver's cab. We've got the connecting rods here, detailed up. The wheels, there's no spinning wheels in this. It's really a toy just to look at. Splash of white on the front there. A couple of, some buffers there. Very, very chirpy and bright Thomas face. And that, sometimes when you're looking at a toy, you can see the dark side by looking at the face of these. Very hard to tell. The eyebrows, let's just call them, they're very custom. The eyebrows, one looks like a bit of expression going on there. Across the top of the boiler there, nice details again. Looking at the other side, yeah, it's just sticker detailed on the side. There wouldn't be much to making this toy. At least the stickers are all nice and straight. Okay, and again underneath, I can't see any details there, although it's a mystery here to why these holes are here. I don't know whether it's meant to be like on the end of a pencil, or it has some other purpose. Okay, normally on a toy like this, a Thomas toy, you would see detailing here, on the back here, related back to Thomas and Friends and the licensing and all the rest of it. I don't understand why it's not there. The second place you would possibly find it is along the bottom here. Definitely not there. But you'd rarely ever see it presenting on the side or anywhere near the front of Thomas, just for the fact it'd be such a visual distraction. But anyway, there is Thomas. And looking at them together, you start to see there are a lot of differences between them. And, well, the fact that Percy is very Percy in a sense, and Thomas is, well, very Thomas. I don't know whether there's more characters in this series of small trains. Remembering I paid $3 each for these, I do feel that's a bit overpriced. If it was $2, I'd be saying, hey, it's a pretty good deal. Once again, I still don't know whether these are licensed or whether they are elaborate rip-offs. To give you an idea of how large and small this Thomas is, well, there it is up against the Thomas Wooden Railway Thomas. I always like to do that because most people can understand the size of this. Okay, obviously it's a fair bit shorter. It's sort of just the same width, And the other Thomas that I'll bring up that most people hopefully know is a take and play. This is the new version, the one with the rollover cab. As I always say, Thomas has had an accident and lost half his cab. The downsized version, and there you go. It's a little bit shorter. Okay, it's most similar in size to a take and play, would be the best way to say it. And because I'm curious, I'm actually going to open up this toy and just see what is going on inside. It gets me one of these shots as well. And for the fact we've just got normal Phillips head screwdrivers in this toy and not security screws, that might be a bit of a clue to something as well. Ooh, who knows what we're going to find in here. Ooh, okay, it looks like the little wheel bits are separate to the base. Oh, they do come out. Okay. So we're starting to see how this works. Can I get the other side to come out or not? Or is it going to play up on me? Maybe. Oh no, they do come out. Okay. And it looks like the running board is separate there, but I think it feels like it's glue. It has that snappy sound. When it's got a snappy sound, either it's going to break or it's showing me there's glue in there used to hold it together. I think it's glued. I'm not going to get that apart unless I break him, and I don't want to break him because I love Thomas. Now the funny part here is when I see that, I always think there'd be axles running through there, and you could have had wheels on this, or they wouldn't have had a middle wheel. There's nothing for the middle wheel. You could have had it as an axle toy. Yeah, it's a Thomas and Friends mystery, but that's something that we always seem to like to have. Oh, I'll put you back together, Thomas, so you can play with your friends. It's funny, I was going to say, I don't think this is a knockoff because it's actually been finished off fairly nicely. What I find with the knockoff toys is that once you open them up and take a closer look at what's going on, they're pretty rough nut in the way they're finished. This doesn't feel rough nut or look as rough nut as what I've seen on other toys, and I hopefully got that round the right way, making sure the steps are going into the cab. And just carefully doing the screws back up, but not too tight. Well, I think I can bring up something that these remind me a lot of, except they're a larger scale of them. Do you know what I'm going to talk about? It's the Pez Thomas and Friends toys. Look, there's the Pez Percy. Okay. I don't know, to me there's something about the shape, and it just looks like a bloated Pez to me. Maybe I'm saying it all wrong. Maybe you're saying, oh, you got mad again, Leo. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. And if I bring up Thomas, if I drop these guys, see that? That was a smart move, wasn't it? Okay, there's Thomas, and there is the Pez Thomas, which I think is one of the better small Thomas toys you can get. Really, really cheap and really fun to play with. What do you reckon? You probably think I've just gone totally mad. I don't know, to me it just seemed, these toys here from the vending machines just seem like bloated Pez toys. And let's not forget, I've got more Thomases here. Oops, just broke the capsule. And what was a little bit bizarre and strange, but I'm sort of happy they're gone, is the vending machines that these came out of had basically vanished from the shopping centre just after I purchased these. I only just got these in time. So who knows, someone may have made a complaint for the way these vending machines were being handled, because I saw a lot of irregularities going on with them. Apart from knockoff toys, there was very strange pricing going on that jumped around for no apparent reason at all. And I think whoever was in charge of them, maybe they needed a little lesson in how to look after the loyal customers who buy this sort of boogie, because I've got no time, especially when I see knockoff toys being sold in places where you should find legitimate toys. And that's the last Thomas out of the capsule. Well, there's my collection. 4 Thomas the Tanks and 1 Percy. Are they legitimate, real licensed toys? That's still the question. Anyway, they all look fairly consistent and I'm happy with them. I would have been a lot happier if they were only $2 a pop. Well, okay, I better leave this video here. Let me know if you've seen these Thomas toys getting about in vending machines. How much do you think they're really worth? I don't think they're worth $3, I'll be honest there. Okay, as always, thanks for watching and bye for now.